Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Middletown Area Historical Society's opening Middletown's History Vault. We are here again, Middletown, Pennsylvania, and we're opening the Middletown History Vault again. Come on in, hit those emojis, let us know you're here. And as you're coming in, remember, share these videos when you're done watching. That helps spread the word and spread this history, this great history of Middletown, Pennsylvania. So come on in. We're here way up on North Union Street today, and we're going to talk about Mr. George Fry and the Fry Orphanage. So come on in. Hopefully we get some people in here today. It's a beautiful Sunday. The air is getting crisp. So as I said, we're up here on North Union Street, and we're talking about George Fry and the Emos Orphanage. So George Fry was born on March 1st, 1732 in Germany. He would come to Philadelphia by boat in 1749 at the age of 17 years old. He ended up coming to Middletown in 1752 and became a farmer with George Fisher, who was the founder of Middletown. George Fry was a hard worker, and he was a very good businessman. He sold goods to the Indians and the frontiers, and the frontier settlers, and he even owned his own store here in Middletown. He would buy a lot of parcels of land. Whenever he possibly could, he would buy parcels of land, and at one point, he owned much of Middletown and Hummelstown that we know today. George Fry and his wife had always dreamed of having children, but they never did, and they wanted to open an orphanage, so they set money aside for that. And actually a log building was started to be erected, but it was never finished before George Fry's death on May 12th of 1806, and that structure ended up getting sold, so there's still no orphanage before his death. In his will, he actually left 1,415 acres of land. That's a lot of land for an orphanage to be built and maintained. Now, his will was very detailed, exactly how he wanted that orphanage to run, the payment of the people that ran the orphanage. Every little detail on that orphanage was inside of that will. And he wanted that orphanage to be called Emos, and it would be under the care of the Lutheran Church. Now, long, drawn-out legal battles, years of legal battles amongst his siblings would drain large sums of the money that was put back for this building, but a brick building was finally built in 1837 between Union and Spring Street, and his dream had finally come true of an orphanage 31 years after his death. Now, in 1874, that building, the orphanages were moved from the area between Union and Spring Street up here to North Union Street, and they built a 3-story brick structure on North Union Street. It was huge compared to the previous and original orphanage. It had 28 rooms in it, wide hallways, real high ceilings. They said it was actually 112 steps to get from the first floor to the second floor inside this orphanage. Along with the orphanage, there was a barn, and there was a chicken coop that probably housed, they said, about 250 in my research, 250 chickens. And they also had turkeys here at the property. In the fall of 1968, an attorney by the name of Paul Klauser closed the doors on the orphanage, and the children were all sent back to relatives and friends. Through research, it shows that the orphanage kind of fell into some financial issues, and it just didn't have the money to keep it going. And Paul Klauser, the attorney that closed the orphanage, felt that Fry Village would be a much more profitable business venture. So that orphanage was closed, and built behind me, as you can see in the background through the trees, is Fry Village. So the property went from servicing children and providing homes for children to now providing homes for our seniors that need special care and attention. So that's the brief story of George Fry and the Fry Trust. Much of the I guess you would say the northern portion of Middletown is still under the Fry Trust. The homeowners do not own their land. They actually pay a fee to the Fry Trust. They own their house, but they don't own the land, and that's a good portion of Middletown. A lot of people know that as the Oak Hills area. So, again, that's George Fry and the Fry Orphanage. It's kind of set up, if you know how Milton Hershey is over there, how a lot of the land in Hershey was set up and is owned by the Hershey Trust. So Middletown has a lot of land here owned by the Fry Trust, who still to this day, in 2020, services children organizations, and they support and sponsor youth organizations in Middletown and around the region. So that's today's brief history from the History Vault on George Fry and the Fry Orphanage. If you guys have any suggestions on stories or historical events or buildings or persons, an item in town, please pop those in the comments. We'd love to hear your suggestions on what you might want to hear about. And we'll certainly, if I don't already know it, I will research it and I will present that history to you. And as always, share these videos, share, spread the word. And remember, you can watch them on YouTube, Middletown Area Historical Society of Dauphin County on YouTube. And they're also on our Facebook, or excuse me, our website, www.middletownareahistoricalsociety.org. Go to the About Us page and scroll to the bottom. All the videos are there. I believe I could post up to 9, so the previous 9 are there, and we'll just keep doing the newest 9 every time. And I say this every week, guys, if history is something that just is on your heart and you want to help support history and the great history that's in Middletown Borough, consider sending a check or a contribution to Middletown Area Historical Society, 29 East Main Street, Middletown, Pennsylvania, 17057. Any donation whatsoever is greatly appreciated. You know, from these videos, we've had people, not necessarily a financial contribution, but we have received some really cool Middletown artifacts recently from people watching these videos, and we are just greatly appreciative of those artifacts that we can put into the archives and just continue to collect, preserve, and teach the great history of Middletown, Pennsylvania. Guys, we hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you next Sunday. Take care, guys. Bye.